Hey guys, we're talking about the uses of the Pythagorean theorem. So I've drawn a triangle, and the Pythagorean theorem again only applies to right angle triangles. The sides that form the vertex of the 90 degrees, or we call them legs. The side of the triangle that is across from the 90-degree angle we call it the hypotenuse. The formula is the two leg size squared, a squared plus b squared, always add up to equal this, the square of the c side. So we can use that formula to calculate whatever the hypotenuse is, but we can also use it to calculate whatever one of the leg sides are. So I'm going to create one formula. I'm just going to see if I can isolate a. So let's say I know the hypotenuse, but I want to figure out, and I know the hypotenuse, so I know what the b side is, but I want to figure out what the a side is, or any leg side length. So I can do that by manipulating the formula. I'm going to show you what that actually looks like to manipulate the formula, because I can move things from one side of the equation to the other. An equal sign means that both sides of the equation are equal. So if they're already equal, whatever I do to one side, I have to do it to the other. So I'm going to actually get rid of, I'm going to take away this b squared, and I'm going to do that by minusing b squared on this side. In order to keep it balanced or equal, I have to also minus the b squared on the other side. So I took away a b squared on both sides. That manipulates the formula, so I'm isolating a squared. Because if I take b squared and subtract a b squared, they cancel out, because b, anything minus itself, is going to be nothing. So now I'm left with a squared equals c squared minus b squared. So I just manipulated the formula, and now I have a new formula that allows me to calculate the legs. So let me show you what that looks like. If I was to take, and this I'll do an easy one, because this is, we can use this is the way we use it in construction. So let's say that these lines are perfectly straight. We have 3 here. We have, well, let's say this is 4. It's a little bit larger. And so we're going to use the original formula for this one because we don't know what c is. So if we organize ourselves, we know that a is 3. We know that b is 4. We don't know what c is. Okay, but we know that if I square a and I add the square of b, we know that it equals c squared. So we plug in a is 3 squared, plus b is 4 squared, and that equals c squared. So this one works out nice and tidy for us. We know it's 9 plus 16 equals c squared. Let's make sure I'm still in view. 9 plus 16 is 25. Oh, happy days. Because we have no calculations to do, because if I was to square root 25, so because we want to calculate what c is, I square root the 25, that is 5. That's extremely helpful. Okay, we can use that in construction, because if I want to find out if I have a 90-degree angle between two boards, let's say I have 2 boards, and they could be any length, but what I do is I move up one board and I make a mark at the measurement of 3. Could be 3 feet, 3 meters, 3 centimeters, 3 whatever. And then I go and I mark a mark at the end of the next board that's going to it. So if I have a 90-degree angle and I mark 4 over here, I know that if this is an actual 90 degree, that the distance between at this point and this point is always going to be 5. So I can use that to help me out. But let's use the other part of this theory. So we've manipulated the equation. So if I know c, so let's say that c is 15, and I know that a, or let's say b, I know that b is 5. Okay. I don't know what a is. So let's make sure, I'm using a lot of the page, I know that a is nothing. I don't know what a is. I do know what b is. It's 5. And I do know what c is, which is 15. This is where we use the other formula. So we have a squared equals c squared minus b squared. A squared equals c squared, which is 15 squared, minus 5 squared, which equals 225 minus 25, which equals 200. That's what a squared equals. We want to find out what a is, so we have to square root 200, which isn't as easy as what you think. Let's see if Siri can help us out. What is the square root of 200?
The square root of 200 is approximately 14.1421.
14.14. Okay. So that's how we would apply the second use of the formula. So I actually showed you two things. I showed you how to apply the first formula. I also showed you a secret of how we can use the Pythagorean theorem to see if we have a 90-degree angle of something. And so you could even go to the corner of your room right now or anything and mark measurement of 3 one way, a measurement of 4 the other way. And if you were to mark those two distances and then figure out a straight line from those 2 points, you're going to know that if it's an actual 90-degree angle, your answer is going to be 5 between those 2 points. So that's how we apply the formula that way. If we know the hypotenuse and we don't know one of the legs, we apply this formula, and we can use it to figure out what our leg side is. So hopefully that helps, and hopefully the organization there is not too complicated, but sometimes that's just the way math goes.